headlined the UFC event already. That is why it was one of the most successful events in the UFC history. I could go on, you know what I mean?
Yeah, the numbers are there. On the countdown, you have 2-1, 3-1. You're blowing the other guys away. Do you consider yourself the one they want to see? The numbers, prove it.
Yeah, 100%. Look, there's some phenomenal athletes on this card. There's Mighty Mouse, one of my favorite fighters.
But more people are watching you than Mighty Mouse.
Yeah, that it is what it is. Why that is, I don't know. Some fans like that would probably.
Do you think it has to do with your looks? I went on your Facebook and there's a lot of girls on there.
Yeah,
all over your Facebook.
It's a hard life, my friend.
Would you consider yourself the best looking guy in MMA, or? You have to think about that one.
I'd be up there. I don't really think about that. It's not really something I think about. I'd certainly consider myself
the
the best
women are
fighter
certainly
in
there.
MMA. The best looking. Fuck it, I'll take it. Why not?
Best looking guy in MMA. That's
if you
part
want
of the
to give
reason.
it to me, I'll take it. Give me a plaque.
Mr. McStudley. McStud.
My man, Max Stud. I like it.
You like it?
I like it.
Conor,
thanks, Conor.
Thank you.
Dustin.
Thank you, sir.
UFC first started with no rules, no time limits, no judges, just the purest form of martial art. It really set the seed that gave birth to this entire thing. UFC 1 was the day, back in 1993, when Royce Gracie went out there and fought these big monsters. Royce Gracie was a 170-pound man who went out and beat heavyweights, beat men of all sizes, and he did it at a time when you could do whatever you wanted. It was a real dangerous time for MMA. And we have these stars now, guys like Conor McGregor, who are fighting at 170 pounds, and Brock Lesnar, a big beast who carries a lot of fanfare. Now, I had a dream, and I was just thinking and fantasizing about these two guys, Conor McGregor and Brock Lesnar, meeting in the octagon. And I know it's not possible now, but I know there was a time when this was possible, when these two guys could have collided in the octagon. Now, I want to ask you guys, the fans, if you would want to see something like this, if this would remind you of UFC's glory days, of the old Gracie days, of how UFC started, and when weight class just didn't matter. Back in Japan, we saw a lot of things, and weight class didn't matter as much either. Now, Conor McGregor has a ton of power in his fist, and he's used it time and time again. In his 19 fights that he won, he had 17 knockouts. So Conor McGregor wants to go out there and knock you out. And Brock is a big wrestler, the biggest. When Brock gets on top of you and starts throwing haymakers, it's on another level. So I was just thinking about these two guys, little Conor and big Brock Lesnar, meeting up and fighting. And I wanted to ask you guys, the fans, what you thought about this fight. Do you think this would be possible in any kind of weird dream or false reality, or is it possible in the real world? Could this ever be possible? Well, I don't think so. I think it's a far-fetched reality, but I still think it's a lot of fun. I still think these are two of the most fun fighters in all of mixed martial arts, and they bring with them a lot of fanfare and a lot of love. Both these guys are loved by the masses, and putting them together in a stare down or just talking about them is going to bring the fans. The fans are going to want to hear about this. Conor's fans and Brock's fans. So would there be any chance of Conor McGregor defeating such a big fighter like Brock Lesnar? We saw him step up in weight, and we saw him go against Nate Diaz, and we saw him fail. So I'm sure a lot of people are going to say, hell no, Conor McGregor wouldn't do anything against Brock Lesnar, and I'm with them. Brock Lesnar is a big man beast. He's as big as a man can get, and when you're that big, you have all the power that a man has, and a little guy like Conor McGregor is going to have only a small chance of knocking you out. He would have the speed on his side, but that would be just about it. He would have to throw a punch or a kick from a really weird, wicked angle that Brock wouldn't see in order to land it. And even if he did, would it even hurt Brock Lesnar, or would Brock just pick him up and throw him down on the floor? Well, that's what I think. I think that Brock would be able to pick this guy up and manhandle him and do whatever he wanted with him. But still, it's fun just to talk about it, like I said. So I'm throwing it out there before anyone had the balls to. Conor McGregor versus Brock Lesnar. Have fun, guys, and yeah, peace out.